All right, beautiful people. Nope. There we go. Happy Wednesday, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday. It is March the 23rd, 2022, day 63 of year 4 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets, another 4-year consecutive day count, day 1081. Today, from the complete Annunaki Bible, we are reading Tablet Q. And then we're going to hop over to My Big Toe, and we're going to read a little bit more, chapter 31. Not sure if we're going to finish it because it's pretty long, but we'll see what it do today. We're going to pick it back up on page 260, see how far we get. Yeah, I don't think we're going to finish it today, but today could be a surprising day. It really could. All right, so let's get started. Father, we thank you for another day. Let's get going. Auntie Belinda Brown. Shalom, shalom, Zoe. That's Wabu. All right, y'all, we got to get right to it. Tablet Q, Book of the Qlippoth and the Other Side. Qlippoth is spelled Qlippoth. The close of the year 1 cycle of Mardukite materials, and it has in brackets indicating Liber 9, which also has reference 91. And reference 1 says, for Liber 1, the Tablet Q series first appeared in Liber 9, the 4th and final installment of the originally planned trilogy of materials now compiled for the Necronomicon Annunaki Bible. Other sections from Liber 9 include the Tablet H, Tablet I, and Tablet J series. Okay. The close of the year 1 cycle of Mardukite materials, indicating Liber 9, is meant to bridge what is in the light to what is laying hidden in the shadows and in the darkness and in the night. O sons of the night, gather around to hear the words which might bring you to the crossing the abyss. And crossing the abyss has reference 92. And that says, crossing the abyss, the original phrase describing the year 2 work of the Mardukite Chamberlains, culminated in the title Sumerian Religion by Joshua Free and Necronomicon Revelations by Joshua Free, both of which appear in the year 2 anthology Gates of the Necronomicon, edited by Joshua Free. Okay. Let's see. O sons of the night, gather around to hear the words which might bring you to the crossing to the abyss. That which you desire must strongly, What you desire must strongly in your heart, your heart's desire. Doesn't make sense. See, the word is missing. There's too many words in there. It says, okay, crossing the abyss, that which you desire must strongly in your heart, your heart's desire. Maybe the word be is missing. That which you desire must be strongly in your heart, your heart's desire. Okay. The evil fever has set upon like a deluge. Wide and broad it fills the whole of the earth, enveloped in terror, cloaked in fear. It roams freely about the streets. It invisibly stands beside any man. It sits and whispers to any man. When it enters the home, its appearance is unknown. When it goes forth out of the home, it has gone unnoticed. And in brackets it is not perceived. Shayla, that's why we're Hezekiah. Shalom, shalom. Okay. This next section is called The Broken Fragment. It has been established the nations shall return to the source. Nations of men will return to the womb of creation, to Nibiru, eternal creatrix, mother goddess. The Annunaki have set forth the decree. From the heavens, the Annunaki decree the fates for their creation. From Anu is Enki and Enlil. From Enki and Enlil and Ninhursag came the race to relieve the toil of the Igigi. And in brackets after Igigi, it has watchers. Enki, and in brackets it has Ptah, which in Egyptian mythology, Enki is known as Ptah. So anytime you read through any kind of anything in Egyptology, when you see Ptah, P-T-A-H, it's referring to Enki. They just changed the names. Talking about the same characters all throughout time. Mom, shalom, shalom. Trina, hey girl, hey. Okay. Enki, Ptah, founder of men, founder of the temple shrine in Eridu, Anu, father of all, father of the dynasty in Bad Tabira, father of the dynasty in Larsa, father of the dynasty in Sippar and Shuruppak. The first cities of men were founded by the Anunnaki, those who fell to earth from the heavens. They were the light bearers among the nations. They were men of renown, revered among the nations. Anu, Enlil, Enki sent messengers. Multitudes poured forth from the heavens, and in brackets it has Igigi, etc. Then, led by Marduk, an evil was expelled. The divine ordinances of the temple shrines, the books of knowledge and rites, these were entrusted to the priests, kings of men. The next section is Marduk and the plague. May Marduk, eldest son of Eridu, sprinkle the afflicted one with pure water, clean water, bright water, with the water twice 7 times, that he may be pure, that he may be clean. Let the evil Rabisu demon, it says daemon, but the same thing as demon. Let the evil Rabisu daemon go forth and stand away from the afflicted one. May a kindly Sedu, or spirit, may a kindly Lamasu, guardian, come forth and be present near his body. The priest is to make an image of the affected person in dough, so as to force the plague god that afflicts the person to come away from the body and into the image. Ancient tablets list the plague god as Namtaru, and in other places it may be found as Ura, U-R-A. Then the text continues, plague god that devours the land like fire, plague god that attacks the man like a fever, plague god that roams the wind like a desert, plague god that seizes the man like an evil thing, plague god that torments like a pestilence, plague god that has no hands or feet but wanders the night, plague god that tears the afflicted man in shreds, that binds the body of the afflicted man, that has decreased the strength of the afflicted man like a withering plant. At night on his bed, At night on his bed, the afflicted one cannot sleep. The plague god has affected his body. The plague god has seized his loins. The god of the afflicted one is distant. The goddess is far from the body. Marduk has set his eye on the body. Marduk has set his hand on the body. Pull off a piece of clay from the deep. Fashion an image of the afflicted one's form and place it in the loins of the sick man at night. At dawn, make atonement for the body and perform the incantation of Eridu, and in brackets it has Mardukite pentagram rite, and it also has reference 93 for Mardukite pentagram rite, which says incantation of Eridu, see tablet Y series, which we haven't gotten to that yet, but we will. Turn his face to the west, that the evil plague god, the great Namtaru, wide with dread, which has seized the body of the afflicted one, will vanish away from him. Then it goes to the next section, and it says, magic square tablets are used as talismans in the ancient Near East and elsewhere related to secrets of the Annunaki, energetic magics, and protections offered to the priests, kings, and children of Marduk. Some tablets are designed for hanging on a wall, particularly over doorways and thresholds, physical gates. Origins of the peace, love, unity triad used among the Ordo Nabu Meir Dekai, and it says, reference 34 for Meir Dekai. It's Ordo Nabu Meir Dekai, or proper name for the inner order of the Mardukites. Okay. The Ordo Nabu Meir Dekai is actually derived from such a tablet drawn with the following words: "May the temple shrine of Assur and Marduk be over this house." And it has a little drawing here of that. Let's see. Let's see that. Okay. For Facebook and YouTube, I should be able to see it. Okay. And in it, y'all probably could read it because it was big enough. At the top, it says Anu-God. Then to the left side, it has peace. To the right of it, it has Marduk. And the triangle under it, it has unity-1. And at the very bottom, it says Ana Nam Tila Ku Barmes. Okay. Marduk went to his father for help to drive out the fever demon. May pestilence be driven from the body. Enki advised him, fashion an image of his likeness from dough and earth, set it upon the ground, and in brackets it has holy ground. Take men with the king, noble or literal, over him. Take his hand before the sun, and in brackets after sun it has Samaz. Repeat the incantation, Sar Azag Ga, while pouring water of his head, and the incantation of Iridu. Maybe it's supposed to be while pouring water over his head, but it has of his head. That don't make sense. While pouring water of his head, and the incantation of Iridu. Okay. It's probably should have said over instead of. Okay. There are a few typos going through here, but we can pretty much figure it out based on what we've already been reading. Okay. The next section is the ritual of the hanging stones. Shadow rites from the underworld. What is this? Sethonic Necronomicon Gnosis. So once we have put our foot in it, all that remains is, of course, to dislodge the gates, to unleash mighty forces within and around us to bring back the Annunaki so that they may be established on earth again. And it matters not which names and ideals we attach to this ideal, so as long as it is maintained in the hearts and thoughts of the dedicated. Let's discuss the first primary elements involved. The premium mobium, as it were, water and air, yet also the spaces between them, the heights and the depths and the spaces between them. You have heard the name Cthulhu, and that's reference 95. Cthulhu, a name made famous by H.P. Lovecraft's fantasy fiction writings. Isn't that who wrote Lovecraft? Maybe I'm wrong. Isn't that who wrote Lovecraft Country? I don't know. I gotta look that up. H.P. Lovecraft. Hold on. Let me look real quick. H.P. Lovecraft movies. No, maybe it's just Cthulhu. He actually did a movie called Cthulhu. Oh, so maybe he didn't do Lovecraft Country. Hold on. Let me type it in. No, I think it was a different person. Okay, H.P. The films of H.P. Lovecraft. No, I think it's a different person, y'all. The Haunted Place, Monster of Terror, Dunwich Horror. Yeah, no, this is a different person. The name is similar, at least from what I'm looking at through this list. H.P. Lovecraft, the Necronomicon. Nope, the names were just similar from what I can see so far. Okay, so he didn't write Lovecraft Country. But he sure got a lot of them. Okay, the names are just similar. All right. Kimball Mack. He did? Wait, he did? It's not on that list. Well, maybe so. I'm going to look into that a little bit more. Hold on, let me put Lovecraft. HP. Maybe it is. I don't know. But from that list that I just looked at, maybe it might be his books. I don't know. I'll check it out. Okay. Back to the reading. Okay. Cthulhu, a name made famous by H.P. Lovecraft's fantasy fiction writings. Okay, let's go back up. You have heard the name of Cthulhu, a name that is often connected to the crossings to the land of Kutha or Kutha. The first Kutha, land of Kutha, was spelled with a K. And in parentheses it says, or Kutha, spelled with a C. To the underworld of Cthulhu, darkness and shadow abounds. The name of Tutu and Cthulhu, or alter ego, and it has in brackets, shadow of the Tutu. And Tutu is reference 96, and it says, Tutu, an alternate name for Kutu in modern high magic and ceremonial magic traditions. The name Tutu is listed as an alternate name or title role for Nabu, a guardian of the gates, but not necessarily chthonic. Okay. Let's see. Let me go back and reread the whole sentence over. You have heard the name Cthulhu, a name that is often connected to the crossings, to the land of Kutha or Kutha, to the underworld of Cthulhu. Darkness and shadow abounds. The name of Tutu and the Cthulhu, or alter ego, shadow of the Tutu, is what men have feared, and they know not its nature. It has simply been whispered out of the ethereal mist and remained unseen in the realm of life. Know, too, that the animal forms conjured to mind as gods are but shadows of truth of the gods, who have fragmented our beings as separate and Hey, what? That is... Go upstairs, Mr. Murphy. I'm sure y'all didn't hear that. Okay. Stricken that from the records. Know, too, that animal forms conjured to mind as gods are but shadows of the truth of the gods, who have fragmented our beings as separate and distinct. And at first it has been decreed that the union of the two were to remain separate and distinct, the blending being taboo. This lore has existed concerning those among the older ones and elder gods that did come down to set themselves upon the daughters of men. Though it has been written that they corrupted the women, we knoweth not the natures and minds of the gods. What fierce beast awaits for us at the crossing to the abyss? What monstrous visions will we be forced to behold? What is the nature of the dweller at the threshold? And in what names are we to know these by? For after climbing the ladder of lights and establishing the whole of the light, what other motivation can there be except to enter into the beyond? Perhaps one of the most fundamental of thoughts when considering the gnosis of the Necronomicon cycle is the reverberating echo of the power of man is the power of the ancient ones. And it has like this little quote. And he read the dreaded name Cthulhu, and he read the dreaded name Zikhoronzan. And it has a reference 97 for that name. Zikhoronzan, an Enochian name for a dragon spirit guarding the gate to the outside. Okay. And he read the dreaded name, Zikhoronzan. It has been compared to the Lovecraftian semantics that the depths are likened to Cthulhu and the heights are to Yog-Sothoth. While these names, among others invoked from that mythos, do not necessarily appear one-to-one with any specific names on ancient Mesopotamian tablets or from classical mythologies, the basic planetary system, universal streams as a celestial pantheon can be overlaid onto any sufficient cultural or thematic paradigm if the symbolism matches appropriate archetypal names of that mythos. And it has reference 98 for mythos. Mythos is a collective, self-contained paradigm used to define all of the experience and reality as based on specific cultural or language semantics, usually religious. The circle of stone is a mystical representation of space and time, of course, fragmented space and fragmented time. The number and arrangement of the stones, just like the number of points indicated on a star. The elemental entity, the watchtowers, yea, they are interconnected to the four that are one and to the stones in the physical world raised and named to them. In the elements of water, 3 stones to Sith Ulu. In the element of fire, 6 stones to Sith Uduwag. In the element of air, 8 stones to Horu Sith. In the element of earth, 5 stones to Shugnigoth. The interpretation of this, as some magical orders have arrived at, is the similarity of the phonetic sounds to Lovecraftian entities. Cthulhu, and in brackets it has Sith Ulu, Yog Sothoth or Asa Dagawa, and in brackets it has Sith Odogwag, Hashter, Haru Sith, Shub Nigarath, Shug Nigoth. The one will be intellectually inclined to draw other conclusions to formulate, such as Binah, Saturn, Tiphareth, sun or fire, Hold, Mercury, air. Hold on. Let me go back, because I think I was reading that in the wrong order. Okay. So for the first one, it has the number 3, and it has Binah - Saturn, but I got to go straight across. I was going straight up and down. Okay. And so after Saturn, it has the great deep abode of the Cthulhu. And then the next one actually has the number 6, and it has Tiphareth, then sun fire. Then across from it, it has solar center 666 Yog Sothoth. Then the next one, it actually has number 8. It's skipping numbers. It has number 8. Then it has Hold, HOD, Mercury air. Then go across, it has winged messenger. Then it has Hashter. Then the last one is actually number 5, which is out of order. Gabura Mars, goat of 1,000 young, Shub Nigarath. For those not privy to the methods of old, the ceremonial formula is simple enough. The number of stones are indicative of energetic current being fragmented and channeled from the whole. The circle is, as always, a holy mandala of the priest-magician representing the universe. The inner circle may be indicative of a transitional element, e.g. the water gate or seashells, and the measure of the diameter usually energetically reflects the current. Stones are equally spaced and named, and they are set out or marked such as in the manner of the shamanic medicine wheel, and it has reference 99 for shamanic medicine wheel, and that says, medicine wheel, see also Arcanum, the Great Magical Arcanum by Joshua Free. Okay. They are set out or marked much as in the manner of the shamanic medicine wheel, and as with any ritual, workings may be performed solely in the astral. Lines of power, forming star glyphs, run across the surface of the most holy nematons, or mandala, erected as the stones of the ancient. They form an energetic boundary for the circle. They also cross the surface, meeting not only the practitioner in the center, but also sharing amplified resonance with one another to aid in the building of and channeling of energetic powers. Traditionally, the stones, earth element, are to be collected by or near the sea, the water element, by the light of the full moon, and in brackets it has lunar current, equaling, and the working is sealed with the incantation of Iridu, and in brackets it has e.g. Mardukite pentagram right. And so here are the different shapes that it was showing and what he was talking about. Okay. And the next section is the rites and lore of Death. More Lovecraftonian, Necronomian gnosis, shadows from the underworld. Is that? Okay. Yeah, still a part of this tablet. Okay, and this is the last portion, the last 2 pages, and it's like a page and a half, because the last page is just a half a page. Okay. The rites and lore of Daath, D-A-A-T-H, more Lovecraftian, Necronomicon gnosis, shadows from the underworld. In the ancient and esoteric Semitic lore, there is a hidden sphere on the tree, a transitional doorway occulted by the light of the other spheres called Daath. And Daath has reference 101, which says, Daath, the gate to the outside, or gate of Ganzir, Babylonian, as relayed in the Semitic Hebrew Kabbalah. Okay. All right, y'all. It is a secret, unnumbered sphere, and in brackets it has Sephirot dash heaven or gate, which is the height or summit of the material, and also forms the basis and foundation or depths of the supernal triad or heights, whereby the 9th gate leads to the Zayang. Z, it has Z in brackets, then it has AIN and another bracket. Okay. The heights of the material realm are the depths of the supernal heights. And after supernal heights, it has reference 102, and that says, this paragraph also introduces elements of year 2 Mardukite explorations that may be best understood in Necronomicon Revelations by Joshua Free, also available in the year 2 Mardukite anthology, Gates of the Necronomicon, edited by Joshua Free. Okay, so now it seems like it's going through, it gives you a list of 6 things, and it's a description of each one of these. Okay, so the first one is Azathoth, the primal chaos, center of infinity, formless, unknown, the antithesis of creation. The zodiac is Leo, the direction hidden south. Alias Azag Thoth, time threshold Sunday. Mardukite pantheon Samaz or Shamash Utu. Traditional glyph is a spiral. And then it goes to number 2, and that's Yog Sothoth, all one, unification, all in one, vehicle of chaos, gate of the void, crossing to the abyss. Element is fire. The zodiac is Leo. Direction is immediate south. Time threshold is Thursday. Mardukite pantheon is Marduk. And the traditional glyph is a circle. Number 3 is Naira La Thotep. Crawling chaos. The ether between the will of the old ones in space. And in brackets it has outer space. Then it has Milky Way. The tortuous serpent or path of the serpent. The alias is Napalati Hotep. Time threshold, Wednesday. Mardukite pantheon, Nabu. Traditional glyph, the wand of power. Number 4 is Hashtur, the voice of the old ones. The element is air. Zodiac is Aquarius. The direction, east. Time threshold, Saturday, with a question mark in parentheses. The Mardukite pantheon, Ninib Adar. The traditional glyph is the crescent. Number 5 is Cthulhu, Lord of the Deep Ones. Dreams, the crossings of the abyss. The element is water. The zodiac is Scorpio. The alias is Cthulhu. Cthulhu direction is west. Time threshold is Tuesday. Mardukite pantheon, Nergal, and traditional glyph is a trapezoid. And the last one is number 6, the Shub Niggurath, the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young. Gate of the north wind. Element is earth. The zodiac is Taurus. The time threshold is Friday. Mardukite pantheon is Inky. And in parentheses it has some list as Astral, which it also has reference 103. And traditional glyph is a triangle. And reference 103 is Ashtor, and Ashtoreth. Excuse me. Ashtor, and Ashtoreth are later Canaanite and Hebrew interpretations of Ishtar Inanna. Boy, I tell you, everything translates, right? All the different names that we have in the Bible, they are all translated from more ancient texts. And this last little paragraph, make your invocation to Marduk and Sarpanit, then call in or invoke the supernal trinity, Anu, Enlil, and Enki, probably of which I'm almost certain up at this point that translate in the Bible, they call the supernal trinity. The Christians teach you that the Trinity is the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, which, if you backtrack it, you'll find that to be Anu, Enlil, and Enki. Yeah. Okay. Make your invocation to Marduk and Sarpanit. Then call in, invoke the supernal trinity, Anu, Enlil, and Enki, followed by a conjuration of the fires and the 4 beacons, and in brackets it has lamps of the watchtowers, and in parentheses at the watchtowers it has cardinal directions. Perform the incantation of Iridu and call forth the presence of the personal guardian spirit watcher. Name the talisman or stone, whispering the name of the seal or spirit call, and conduct the appropriate invocation of the gate. And that, my beautiful people, is the end of Tablet Q. That was pretty short, but took us right to the 30-minute mark, a little bit over 33 minutes. So Tablet R is the Book of the Return and the Last Days, but we won't read that until Friday because we won't be here tomorrow. Okay. Oh, I just saw your comment, Kimball. Okay, so it wasn't him. Okay, you're right. He didn't write the book. Story based on his writings. Okay, cool. Jan, shalom, Levon, blessings, oh great spirit, fill our spirit with your presence so that we can grow our spirit into the oneness of you. Hallelujah. All right, beautiful people. So let's hop on over here to my big toe. Got about a good 30 minutes to read this. And I still don't think we're going to finish with it, but we'll see. So we paused This chapter is giving a lot of scientific talk to us, so just kind of hang in there till he get through it, If you don't remember it, don't worry about it. He's going to remind us as we go on, right? Okay, he tries to break it up into little set-asides to help you understand all the lingo that he just spoke about, right? Okay. So we paused at the bottom of page 260. And I'm going to just pick it right back up right here. Hold on. Yeah, I'm going to just pick it back up right here. Information transfer also seems instantaneous here in physical matter reality over short distances because light speed is exceptionally fast relative to other natural physical matter reality velocities. It would seem that you must be careful in using your direct experience to determine what is or is not instantaneous. For large distances, such as the distance from Earth to the nearest star beyond our solar system, and he has in parentheses, which is 4.5 light years to the Alpha Centauri triplet. I'm sorry. Even light speed seems to go agonizingly slow. In non-physical matter reality, thought space, individual things are not separated by physical distance, and information does not have to be transmitted through space in order to travel between the sender and receiver. Nevertheless, within non-physical matter reality, information must propagate from the sender to the receiver, but not through space. There is no spatial distance between them. Thus, it requires some non-physical matter reality time for the informational state within the unique digital mind space of the receiver to change to include the newly received information. Time is needed to flip the cell states that represent the content of the sender's information within the receiver. Think of this process as analogous to display time, or similar to the time required by your computer to transfer data within its core memory. Since these data transfers within the bit computer, operating on much smaller delta t time increments, take place between consecutive delta t iterations of our virtual reality, they appear to be instantaneous to us. I know this is starting to get weird, and I can see your eyes beginning to glaze over with information overload. Clarity will come. Collect the big ideas and let the details go for now. Let us do a quick review of the high points and go on. Aum's time is the most fundamental because it has the smallest time increment or quantum and is used to define all the others. Imagine, for the sake of putting some concrete meat on these highly abstract bones, that Aum's fundamental quantum of time is 10 nanoseconds. 10 to the 80th power, while NPMR's is 10 to the, 10, it says that all the nanoseconds, 10 minus, was it, at squared, like the 80 up in the corner, negative 80 squared, right? Okay. While NPMR is 10 negative to the negative 62 seconds power. I don't know, y'all. And PMR's is 10 negative 44. Each is a billion, 10, 18 times larger than the previous one. Okay. Give me 1 second, y'all. Hold on. Something just back. Grand Risings, Uncle JB. I'm sorry. I had to get it to my husband. Somebody on one of our job sites. Okay. Find my spot. Okay. Using these numbers, it follows that delta t, which in our example is 10 to the negative 44 seconds and represents PMR's quantum of time, is defined by AM to be 10 to the 36th power fundamental quanta, and in parentheses it has N equals 10 to the 36th power. That is, for every 1036 ticks of AM's fundamental clock, one quantum of space-time is incremented in our dimension of reality, physical matter reality. After 10 to the 80th power ticks of AM's fundamental clock, an entire second of our physical matter reality time has dribbled by. Talk about slow motion. Just as there are many fundamental time quanta in one quantum increment of non-physical matter reality time, likewise there are many of these non-physical matter reality time quanta in one quantum of physical matter reality time. Say that 3 times. I'm just as lost as y'all. Hold on. The relatively huge magnitude of one quantum of physical matter reality time, one quantum of space-time time, is exactly the time required for the one space-time reality cell to change its state from non-distorted to distorted or vice versa. The upper limit on the propagating... What did it say?
A startup about kitchen equipment. I don't know what he's talking about.
Kitchen equipment. Okay.
I guess you just walk around check doors.
The upper limit on propagating distortions in space-time is thus one space-time reality cell per quantum of space-time time. We define that upper speed limit as C, a constant whose value has been evolved by AM, which has been experimentally measured in physical matter reality to be 3 times 10 to the 8th meters per second. Therefore, C conceptually defines the virtual size or conceptual spatial extent of space-time reality of a space-time reality cell. Thus, the virtual length L of one space-time cell divided by delta T, which is defined as one quantum of physical matter reality time, would equal C. Right now, can y'all see the smoke coming out my ears? I told y'all I don't really got any kind of stories to go with this portion of the reading. Everybody's just going to have to suffer through this. Okay. Thus, the virtual length L of one space-time cell divided by delta T, which is defined as one quantum of physical matter reality time, would equal C. Consequently, C is the maximum speed with which information can be transferred from one conceptual physical matter reality cell to the next adjacent cell. That equation can be written as L equals C in brackets time delta T in brackets. We can define a quantum of space, delta V, to be the smallest possible chunk of PMR 3D volume V. Lord have mercy. Then he gives this equation. Delta dash V with the squiggly equal sign lines, not just the regular equal signs, it's the squiggly equal signs. Okay. Forgive me for any scientific person that may happen to stumble upon this video because my big toe is a hashtag, right? I'm not really a scientist. I'm a little bit of what you call a scientist, but not this type of scientist. So forgive me if I'm screwing up all the scientific equations. I'm sorry. Charge it to my head and not my heart. Okay. Delta dash V, squiggly line equal sign, bracket C in parentheses, multiplied by delta T in brackets, in parentheses, close bracket to the third power equals L to the third power. That's why I did not go any further after algebra. Now here is a little aside, right? Okay. Let's use the values given in our arbitrary numerical example above to calculate the space-time reality cell width. Define the virtual width of one space-time reality cell as L. Then L equals C in parentheses multiplied by PMR time dash quantum delta T in brackets equals 3 times 10 to the 8th power m/s in brackets multiplied by 10 minus the 44th power s in brackets equals 3 times 10 to the negative 36 power meters, which is about the size of Planck's length, 16 times 10 to the negative 36 power m in parentheses minus a measure of the point at which some of the world's best physicists say that our 3D space becomes granular, is composed of non-continuous discrete cells. I purposely made up the numbers in the preceding example to be simple, round numbers and to force the width of a space-time reality cell to be near Planck's length. They are for illustrative purposes only. Do not take the actual values too seriously. We can't even take them for play, because I don't understand none of it. Y'all need to, I'm telling y'all need to get another teacher to understand that. I'm just here to read. I know that this is clear to you, but let me remind some of the other readers to set aside their habituated physical matter reality concepts and keep in mind that AO's tick-tocking clocks are not actually ticking off fractions of our seconds. It is ticking in mind space in an aware consciousness that can differentiate between this way and that way, flip-flopping atoms of consciousness called reality cells whose states can be manipulated at will and with regularity. These atoms of consciousness, in turn, produce molecules of space-time. A tick-tock of Aum's clock represents the fundamental timepiece, the primordial clock, a mental process within consciousness from which our physical matter reality clocks are derived. Our time, measured in seconds, fractions of the periodic revolutions of the heavenly bodies, or more recently, some numbers of atomic oscillations, is a shadow of fundamental time. It is our sensory perception of a specific constrained and limited implementation of the more fundamental time defined by Aum consciousness. And that's the end of this aside. And he picking back up. In the example above, information can travel much faster than c, the speed of light in physical matter reality, and non-physical matter reality, because the quantum of non-physical matter reality time is a billion 10 to the 18th power times smaller than a quantum of physical matter reality time. As I mentioned earlier, OS contains physical PMR and non-physical NPMR to the nth, with the N down at the right-hand corner of the R. It's like the lower power. I don't know. The N is down in the corner. OS contains physical PMR and non-physical NPMR in components that are interactive with each other. Between time increments in PMR, time stands still in PMR. Between increments, things continue to happen. Distortions, patterns, and information continue to propagate because the clock keeps on ticking in NPMR in. In other words, while time appears to stand still in PMR, NPMR N continues to race along through 10 to the 18th power more time increments worth of activity. And between each NPMR N time increment, While time is standing still in NPMR, AM has another 10 to the 18th power fundamental time units in which to conduct business as usual. And it has a small little aside. If this time standing still between increments thing has you befooled, forget your habitual notions of continuous time and consider how a complex dynamic simulation might increment time with various subroutines. Time appears to stand still in a given subroutine until the next time that subroutine is called and the local time variable is again incremented. A clear description of time loops within simulations is given early on in section 5 unless this concept is driving you crazy. It can wait until you get to book 3. Whew, jeez, peace. And that's the end of that aside. These little asides is not doing much to help me understand what he was already talking about at this point. Okay. He says, trust me, 10 to the 36 power or a billion, 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 and it lists out the numbers, is really a big number and could represent a relatively long time for AM to wait for 1 PMR delta T to come and go, depending on how long AM perceives a fundamental time quantum to be. To our view, AM is capable of moving in super fast motion. Imagine watching all the movies ever made in a fraction of a second. That represents some serious fast forwarding. On the other hand, AM can pace itself however it wishes and often seems to take the long view, exercising plenty of patience. AM's view of us may be like our view of some sluggish bacteria growing in a petri dish. Okay, I can kind of understand that a little bit based on my experiences in meditation recently, right? Because when you get into that deep meditation state, it's almost like while you're there, especially if you're having an out-of-body experience, it's almost like time is standing still, like no time is passing. But when you come to, it's like, oh my gosh, where did the time go? It's like operating in between those two different realms. So I can understand kind of what this is saying, right? In Aum's time or in the spirit's time, there is no time, right? Things are constantly moving and it's extremely faster than what it is here. When we come back here, everything is slowed down, right? Okay, I can understand that out of all of what we just read in the last 2 days. I understand that. Imagine what it would be like if we each age 1 year every 100,000 years. We would have a lifespan of about 8 million years and had brilliant, nearly perfect memories and minds that were kept busy with many important things to do and think about. We could watch rivers and mountains come and go, as well as study mutations in successive generations of quickly breeding fruit flies. If you can imagine this, you have a minute glimmer of Aum's perspective. Aum does not seem to be getting bored or to be in any hurry. Aum's perception of the passage of time that Aum itself creates by regularly flipping states in order to organize and orchestrate its activity is very different from ours. Do not anthropomorphically project your sense of the passage of time to Aum. Imagine how subroutines within a digital computer or the computer itself might perceive the passage of time. The existence of multiple levels quantized time is why information transfer in non-physical matter reality or in the spirit seems near instantaneous compared to pokey light speed in PMR's space-time construct or this physical realm here. From NPMR PMR would appear to be running in slow motion. Nevertheless, NPMR has its own speed limit, as does AUM itself, because it requires a finite time to change the state of any cell from uniform to not uniform. That is how we define the concept of time in the first place. AUM can evolve as many clocks as are required to provide a unique clock defining. Hold on. Okay. AUM can define or evolve as many clocks as are required to provide a unique clock defining an optimal refresh rate for each group of specialized cells that define a unique dimension, that is, an independent virtual reality frame within the larger consciousness system, LCS. Our space-time reality, physical matter reality, is implemented by one such group of specialized space-time cells. This collection of specialized cells, existing as a subgroup within the larger group of non-physical matter reality, provides the computing resources, memory structure, rule sets, and processing required to actualize, compute the consequences of that subgroup as a unique virtual reality within non-physical matter reality. Realize a reality dimension like physical matter reality within a larger reality dimension like non-physical matter reality or the spirit within a larger reality dimension like AUM. There may be many subgroups that define unique dimensions of reality within non-physical matter reality or within the spiritual realm. We will see in section 5 how the various sizes of time quanta, all derived as integer numbers of AUM's fundamental quantum of time, each in their own dimension, can be directly related to nested time loops within a simulation. What a bizarre thought. Reality as a layered digital thought simulation within AUM. Hang on to that concept and we will explore it in detail later. The significance of multiple levels of quantized time will become clear and seem less arbitrary after we have completed section 5. Here is a quick summary of the concept of time within non-physical matter reality. Keep in mind that non-physical matter reality has no space and therefore no distance. It exists outside of physical matter reality space-time, or it exists outside of us or what we can see, right? Without space and distance, the propagation time for information takes on a different perspective. Because AO and AUM can flip states relative to themselves only so quickly, there is an upper limit on the speed with which distortions, information can be propagated through the larger consciousness system. It is a much larger upper limit than we can imagine given our relatively snail-like light speed that sets the upper limit of information transfer speed between continuous chunks of physical matter reality 3D space, delta V, separated center to center by the virtual distance L. To generate space-time, AUM needs only to specify two of the following three constraints in the form of constants. The third can be computed from either of the other two. 1. The time increment by which virtual reality simulation is incremented by the outer loop, or equivalently, the shortest time possible between cause and effect, the quantum of physical matter reality time we have named delta T. Number 2, the resolution of the graphics scene generation defining the 3D pixel size of the physical matter reality virtual reality, i.e. a measure of the granularity of space, a 3D quantum of physical matter reality space we have named delta-V. 3. Maximum speed with which information can be transferred between 2 points within physical matter reality, space-time, the constant we have defined as c, the speed of light. The relationship between the 3 is c equals delta dash v 1/3 to the 1/3 power divided by delta t. These constraints must be in the form of constraints in order for space-time to be uniform and consistent, homogeneous and isotropic as required by the rules set. Thus, we have derived and explained why the speed of light must be a constant in physical matter reality. Irrespective of the velocity of the source of that light, it is calculated by dividing the 2 fundamental constraints that specify the data processing requirements of our virtual physical matter reality, pixel size and outer loop time increment. This fact alone led Einstein to the logical conclusion that there was no fundamental inertial frame. The theory of relativity falls out as a logical ramification of the fact that C is a fundamental constant independent of the motion of the source. Physicists today still have no idea why the velocity of light must be invariant relative to the motion of its source. They know only that it is so. Whew, guys, and we pausing right here. That is it for today. If any of y'all understood any of that, then help a sister out. Go ahead, type it in, send me an email or something. Right? But the most I understood out of all of this, of just being honest, just giving you my truth, is the whole difference between the time and how it's non-existent in the spiritual realm versus what we see here. Like the spiritual realm is going in fast motion. When we come back here, everything is slowed down, which is why in the spiritual realm, you can see things that are coming. And when we come back here, we call them visions or seeing into the spirit, because going into the spiritual, the astral realm, you get there a little bit fast and you can see what's coming. And when you come back here, you begin to recognize it. Oh, snap. Yo, this, right? And a lot of times, without actually knowing that and how that was working before, we've been able to, I call them warnings from y'all, right? I've seen these warnings, and as I begin to see them play out, the thought or the flash will come back to me from my dream or my vision that I've seen this before. This is about to happen. Warn them, right? So it's really interesting. This whole simulation program, this life that we're living, what it really is when we really begin to research it, right? Okay, so I know it was a hard read today, y'all. Just hang in there. We almost done. You got to go through all of this, and you probably won't remember half, or probably most, if not all, of what he said, but it's going to all come together. You just got to go through it. It's part of the process, right? It'll start sinking in a little more each day. So the next time we come back, we might let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It's like 10 pages left, but it's like 5 actual pages front and back. So we possibly might finish this on Friday, y'all. Like if I just read, like if I can't relate to any of what it's being said, I'm just going to read straight through like I've been doing the last couple of days with some of this stuff. And we'll actually finish this Friday, meaning that we will probably be done with this whole entire book by Tuesday. Then we get to start. Well, before we start this meditation book, I'm going to read that ancient wisdom little small pamphlet. We're going to squeeze that in real quick because we're going to be here for a couple months, right? So I'm going to squeeze in that little pamphlet, which is only going to take us about 2, possibly 3 days, right? I think it's really good information. You probably already got it, downloaded it. And if so, awesome. But for the people that can't, I think it's really good that you hear it. That way it's kind of recorded for you if you can't afford to get it, and you can kind of come back and listen to it, because it is so much awesomeness in just that little pamphlet in those few pages that will blow your mind. It's enough to carry you on for years in your teaching and your understanding and life while you're growing spiritually. It does wonders for you spiritually and helping you grow and being mindful of different pitfalls and things as you grow, right? And as you grow, as you begin to, let's call them, remember how we was talking about superpowers and gaining abilities, or in the Eastern realm they call them cities. It does wonders for you keeping yourself in check as you grow spiritually. To let you know that, hey, you ain't the junk. Calm down. Don't be out here flexing your powers, right? Don't be out here flexing your powers just because you realize they popping up and you can do certain things now, right? Because the more spiritual you become, the more in tune you would get with the unseen realm. And there are just some things that you will have access to. Like, you're going to get the keys to it, right? But that doesn't mean that you should just use it. I'm going to just go out on a stroll today with this because I got the key and let's do it. That ain't what it's made for real, right? You don't go take it. You don't go prostituting this stuff for money, these gifts, and it'll warn you about these things. This the book? Okay, you're welcome, Levon. She asked to see the cover again. That's the one we're going to start. But before we start that, it's the little small pamphlet that I'm telling y'all about now. It will do awesome wonders for you in helping you keep yourself in check as these cities or these superpowers begin to arise, right? Remember months ago when we was really talking about it a lot, there's this one gentleman that I learned from. He's really wise old sage, or old wise sage, right? And he takes on students and he teach them, right? He tell them right up front. Matter of fact, he has what you want to call it, a retreat or whatever. People will go to him, and he's kind of built like this school, this spiritual school, whatever, where it help you develop. And he tell them right up front, right, as we go on, there are just certain abilities that you will gain, right? Because you become more knowledgeable about the spirit. You actually get interaction. You get some action happening, and you're going to realize that you can do certain things, right? They said it's not like, ooh, I got the special. No, if anybody gets in tune with the spiritual realm, they will begin to see these things manifest in their life. He said, I'm going to tell you right now. He said, if I catch you, I'm like, sheesh, that was pretty harsh. Like, they don't even get to test it out. There will be times you can test your spiritual gifts out, right? But you don't just go out there like, I'm a bad mama jamma. I'm about to go out here and I dare somebody to do something. And it's like you're looking for opportunities to be able to ignite your gifts out there in the public in front of people, right? He said, if I ever catch any of you doing that, he said, I'll make sure you don't ever get to use your gifts again, right? He said, I'll make sure that I completely close your third eye, right? That's what he was talking about. As you become more spiritual, your third eye, if you want to call it that, your third eye begins to open more and more, and you just have access to stuff. But those who are older, who are trained, and who are teachers or in that teaching position, who have people following them, they actually have the ability and they have the right to do that, right? If they see somebody out there being a vagabond, causing more harm than help just because they're being foolish, granted, there are going to be sometimes you're going to get the opportunity to use it, right? Because what you study your whole life and how you live it is where things you get to put it into practice. But it's like tests that come up that you're unaware of, and you don't realize that you're in the midst of a test or a training simulation until either you're finished with it or you're in a flow with it, and different things come to you. Oh, okay, so what did I learn here? And you begin to use different things, right? But some people just want to hop right to the good stuff without doing the studying. Like, you don't want to show up to the instruction part of class. You just come get me when it's time for lab, right? What for? You just gonna screw stuff up. You ain't gonna get it. You just want the good stuff without actually going through the discipline of studying, working through these things, and make sure you actually understand what's going on here before you get out here and blow something up or blow yourself up. Not on my watch, right? So I liked it. So now I'm kind of understanding. But I think that book is like I said, it's really thin. It's really good. And it kind of talks about a lot of what I heard this gentleman talking about months ago. And I was just like, geez, that's pretty harsh. How people ever going to grow? But I completely understand it now, right? It's the same thing. It's no different from charlatans getting in the pulpit, fleecing the sheep for their money. It's no different than that. So now I understand it. So I was like, oh, I completely understand why. Okay. So that's a bit of a treat. It's on if you go in the community section, it's that orange looking book. When I was telling y'all about it the first time, I messed the title up, but it's called What Ancient Wisdom Wants Its Students to Know. I think I probably still screwed that up. Hold on, let me just tell you what it is. I just put it up right here. Hold on. For the community section, it is. In the community section, scroll down one. It's this. If you scroll down, it's one post. I'm giving an update by the Facebook page, and then it's the post there. It's the big orange book. It says what the ancient wisdom expects of its disciples. A study concerning the mystery schools. Right? Okay, so that's it. Go there. You can download it. It's only a couple bucks if you get it on Kindle, but you can get the printed version. And if you go to Amazon, when you click on it, if you click on Kindle or paperback or Audible, each one that you click on is going to have like a different book cover, but it's still the same exact book because I got all of them. I got the Audible, I got the Kindle, and I got the printed version. It's still the same book, still the same information in it that's being read that you listen to. It's just, I don't know why they changed the covers of them from the Kindle to the hardback to the Audible. I don't know why, but it is the same information. So don't let the covers throw you off if you were considering getting it. Okay, so that's it. That's it for today. Tomorrow we will not be here because we will be observing the Sabbath. So I will see y'all back here on Friday, bright and early, 7:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, y'all. Today it is Wednesday, March the 23rd, 2022, day 63 of year 4, reading through the books of the law and the prophets. And of the 4-year consecutive day count, it is day 1081. We read all of Tablet Q in the complete Annunaki Bible, and we read just a little bit more of chapter 31 of My Big Toe, pages 260 to 265. All right, y'all, that's it. May Yah bless you and keep you. And I will see y'all back here Friday, y'all willing. All right, beautiful people. Love y'all. Peace.